morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Witch's Tower. I don't even know what to call this anymore. I've gone from the bottle to the woods to the frozen freaking tundra. It snowed this morning. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. It is so cold already up here. Not my favorite thing in the world. Do not like it being cold. It's I'm like suffering from PTSD in the land of fucking triggers, right? I don't like being cold. I was cold. I've been cold, right? I lived in Virginia, in this really ghetto area called the Willoughby Spit. And what do we got today? Oh, flight and communication. Oh, you know what? I'm going to start this over again. Anyway, I lived in the land of the very, very cold. Well, I guess I can't really say it's very, very cold, but I lived in a very old apartment there. I remember we went to South Carolina for Thanksgiving, and at that time we had no power. And then we moved to South Carolina in the spring, but we didn't have power that entire winter. I moved from Virginia with a $980 light bill in my name. And it's one of those little fun things where you can bring it up. Sorry, put that in there so I can carry it around in my bag without getting ashes all over everything. Anyway, when I moved to South Carolina, I was like, dude, I'll never live someplace where you could freeze to death during the winter again. And here I am in Illinois, waiting for my apartment to open. In the land of pet peeves, right? I keep getting people telling me about my own children. I was like, dude, they were only up here with you guys for 2 months before I came up here. And y'all are acting like, oh, they're so different. No, not really. Moon. Secrets being revealed here. It's like, no, not really. They're the same kids they've always been. We've got Mercury, Pisces, and 4. A lot of this going on again. Mercury, the wishy-washy energy of Pisces, right? And 4. I'm getting the thought, too, right, when it comes to... I'm going to take this off now, I guess. I'm on underneath it. But, only dead fish go with the flow? No, it's not only dead fish. It says even dead fish go with the flow. Meaning, like, you can go with the flow without having to put any energy into it. But if you want to catch food and stuff, you're going to have to actually swim around and get up into the reeds to find it, right? Alright, someone text me or did I just lose service? The internet is just complete garbage here right now. Hopefully that'll be fixed in a couple of days, too, or a week or so. We shall see. Apologies for the sound. Somebody did inform me yesterday that it is kind of going in and out. My microphone did not survive traveling in a backpack full of tarot cards. I guess it got beat up or banged at some point in transit, but it won't come on. So it is what it is. Well, it is what it is. All right. I'm going to leave my music on. I don't care if I catch a copyright thing. The earbud is dying. Somebody was asking me that too. No, I don't use the earbud for microphone. When I have that earbud in, I'm listening to music. It's a buffer for me. It stops ringing. Believe it or not, it actually helps me focus a lot of times on what it is I'm doing, because I suffer from severe ADHD and sometimes dissociation, and it makes it very hard for me to complete tasks, especially when I'm surrounded by people who love to interrupt me while I'm trying to complete a task. Like, that's almost an always, right? Always somebody going to come up to me while I'm in the middle of doing something and either ask me to do something else or something along those lines. I forget what I'm doing, then I get bitched at later for not finishing what I was doing. I call it spuddling, when you run around doing a whole bunch of things but you never really accomplish anything. That is a real word. You could look up spuddling. It's going by so much faster than I would tend to regret not spending all of it with you. It is, I mean, the saving grace of being up here is the main perpetrator of most of my abuse is pretty much recognized by everybody for what they're doing. You know, I'm not the only person here. Where I was when I was in South Carolina, I was the only person stuck in the house with the person that was perpetrating all the abuse. Anybody who studied narcissists, when you lived and you're raised by a narcissist, you are more prone to attract narcissists because you were raised, you're programmed for them already. It's very convenient for them. Haven't you people ever heard of closing a damn door, as above, so below, as within, so without? You are your own prisoner. She only sleeps when it's raining. I'm too involved now. You jump, I jump, remember. I'll tell you a secret that they don't teach you in your temples. The gods envy us. They envy us because we are mortal. Because any moment may be our last and everything is more beautiful because we are doomed. You will never be lovelier than you are now, and we will never be here again. No, you will never have, you can get into the fantasies of, oh, well, if you're a reincarnation now, then you guys can just redo this again next lifetime. No, you'll be totally different people next time. Here, learn totally different lessons. It's like in that moment, the whole universe existed just to bring us together. Don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing. If you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Oh, that's that Pretender song. I love that song. Alright, put those up there. So there's definitely a lot talking about bottled emotions. Good sense of bottled emotions, like there's a lot of wisdom behind it, but at the same time, ooh, Asia. That's the energy that's pulling in from a past life. I think a lot of people underestimate how valuable China just pretty much always has been for herbs, spices, and all that. I mean, the whole discovery of America was Columbus trying to find routes to Asia and India, quicker routes to Asia and India. So I'm getting a lot of that energy coming through here from a past life. The temple of my body. Okay, well now isn't that interesting, right? So you've got this here with the temple in the background, right? Then you've got the temple of my body here. And now the temple of my body is kind of like almost like desecrating your own temple. And with Asia, I don't know why I'm picking this up. I'm picking up foot binding, right? How they tied themselves up. They would bind your feet to keep them tiny, and they would tie all these tight kimonos and stuff on you, and you wouldn't be able to eat. And I'm getting corsets and all that other energy coming off of this, right? You get Meadow of Vulnerability here again today, right? Getting a sense of vulnerable with flaws. And accepting flaws, right? Accepting flaws. Accepting that perfectionism is an illusion and it's based on culture. shuffle these upside down for a little bit. Ooh, it's windy out there, and these chickens are out there. Alright. Getting this popping up a lot, right? Getting this might be marriage from a past life energy coming up. Alright, here we go again. Oh, wow. All right. So, we got two stuck characters here. Two stuck characters. We have got the King of Swords up on his balcony here, and then we have the lady with the Eight of Swords on her balcony over here. These are people that are being kept from each other, kept from the world. Almost, yeah, like they're hiding up on their balconies, overseeing the world, right? There's definitely decisions that need to be played, right? These are both totally capable game players. And I'm going to say this, they are both totally capable game players here, and that's the reason why they stay up on their balcony now, right? These are people that are up on their balcony watching other people. These are people who are taking time that are studying other people. Why? Because they've played the game before. So now, instead of engaging in the game anymore, because they know that that's not what they want, they watch other people playing the game, and they learn other people that way, right? Before they make any decisions, right? There's definitely a looking for equal give and take, right? And there's definitely a sense, I got the hiccups so bad right now. There's definitely a sense of trying to make things corporeal on the 3D, right? I feel like there's a very strong connection here, and they're trying to make it corporeal on the 3D, right? Why? Because someone recognizes this is their 10 of Cups fulfillment on the 3D. If they could just figure out how to make it work. Right? And 4-3. Alright, so on the 4D, there's definitely trying to overcome this energy, right? There's a coming out of that victim mentality of this, the world is so horrible, and everything always goes wrong, and everybody's terrible. It's just this toxic victimhood mentality that's been going on, right? Again, it's a huge pet peeve of mine, too, when people are constantly playing that woe is me shit. It's something that one of my exes was constantly sending to me about how life is so hard for men, and it's just like you're looking at him like, no, it's hard for you because you're an alcoholic that doesn't want to work. You know, there's a difference going on here. you're purposely injuring yourself to avoid work. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly in this rolling around, woe is me, 10 of Swords. And there's a recognition of that on why that triggers certain people. Like if you know someone who's a chronic victim, the reason it triggers you so much is because it shines a mirror up on areas where you act like the victim, and there's an overcoming of this, right? I say that because you got the Hermit upright here. So there's definitely a using this isolation for a purpose, right? Of trying to reset a frequency, right? There's definitely a reset that needs to be done because there is potential. You got 2 10s here, right? There is a potential to end a toxic repeating cycle here, especially when it's evolved about finances that are being draining all the time. And that's what I feel like a lot of this worries me is, right? There's definitely a opportunity to break these toxic cycles, but this person is trying to science their way through a rite of passage, and it's a spiritual rite of passage, and sometimes you can't science your way through it, right? You can't science your way through that. I get a strong sense that this is definitely kind of on a I got the Queen of Pentacles here at the end. And the Hermit on this one does look like a female as well, right? She's holding that hourglass time, right? There's definitely the Queen of Pentacles, right? Trying to get back into her strength. I like how it has that bit of Aries symbolism in it, too. Can't stay on your morphine because it's making me itch. Yeah. I definitely get a sense that it might not just be the divine feminines that are going through this. I feel like this is a connection of an mutual understanding, right? 2 fish with their tails tied together, right? Each one's trying to pull into a different direction, right? There's definitely a lot of messages, and with that 4 foundations there, a lot of messages. I think that moon with secrets still. There's still a lot of secrets that aren't being told. And that's what's kind of causing all this upset. I think the Hermit notices this. I think the Queen of Pentacles, who's building on her own, is recognizing this. There's still this 10 of Swords energy that is there, and a 10 of Pentacles energy which is there, which is both reversed. Right? So that's thoughts and words that aren't being spoken to get you out of these situations. And the science here is the 6 of Swords. What there's not enough logic behind it for you to calculate. So that's what's making all this a lot more difficult on the 4D connections here, right? The 5D, what's the 5D has to say about it? Now the 5D, you just had 10-10 there. We've got 44 here. We've got the 4 of Cups and the 4 of Swords, right? And now I'm definitely getting the universe is trying to hand you something. What is the universe trying to hand you? A cup of truth is what I'm picking up, right? Cups are usually about love, right? This is about, like, I love the one for this one. It's the guy sitting there and he's like, no, I said I wanted my coffee. I wanted a caramel macchiato latte with soy cream, whatever the hell. I don't know. You can tell I never did Starbucks. With sprinkles in a Hello Kitty cup. I said it 3 times. That's what I want. And the universe is handing them a cup and they're like, I'm not even going to look at it, right? I'm going to lay here, dead to the world, 3 swords, that 3 of Swords, 3-party situation, pulling on them, hanging over their head. What, underneath it? There's the Sword of Truth. What? There's a glaring truth. The universe is trying to hand it to you. The universe is trying to tell it to you. They're like, what? There is just one truth, right? There is one truth that's happening right now. And what's that? Toxic, masculine, just thinking with your dick energy. That just is what it is. I can't, this is what the cards say it is. I don't know what else to tell you. And that's kind of, I think, the science and the illogical part that I think is causing a lot of problems on the 40 there. It's like, what? None of that makes sense. None of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not necessary for the program anymore. It's not, it's toxic programming. And then people are looking at you like, dude, that's toxic as shit programming. And What? I can't see what you're saying. I don't know what's happening. I don't understand. My shit keeps falling apart. Because you're representing this toxic ass shit energy. I don't understand. You're literally covering your eyes. The Eight of Swords original card is blindfolding yourself to this, right? And when I say this toxic shit male energy, feminines can be exhibiting this too. Feminines are. When we talk about toxic masculinity, we are not just talking about men. We are also talking about women who embody this toxic shit masculine bullshit, right? And now, it's not saying that you can't be a strong, independent woman, but when you start playing the field, like toxic men play the field, now we have entered into a world where not only feminines are getting deeply, deeply wounded by this toxic men doing this to them, now men are dealing with feminines. So now what? Now all good people, right? I get this big sense of, right, talked in the beginning about the narcissistic structure, right? You got all these empaths out there that are just so deeply wounded by this toxic masculine energy, right? And empaths, male or female, empathic, nurturing energy is inherently feminine energy, right? But it can become toxic too. How does toxic femininity work? Extreme codependence, people pleasing, putting yourself last to nurture everybody else, and everybody knows that you can't pour from an empty cup, that you need to fill your cup first. So that's the reverse here, and there's this big push and pull, that two fish with their tails tied together going on. Well, anytime a feminine posts something about how men are assholes and they're hurting them, you get a whole bunch of men that are just, women do it too. It's really quite annoying. It really, really is. I don't know who needs to hear this, but yes, everybody knows that every statement does not mean every and always. When someone complains about toxic male behavior, they are allowed to complain about shit that has happened to them. That does not give you a right to jump on there and go, oh, women have done this to me, so now I can be an asshole on your page for no reason. Or, it's like, dude, we all know. We all know. We all know how it is supposed to be, right? We all know how it's supposed to be. We all know how it can be, right? So we don't need this pointing out the obvious, right? Obviously, not everybody is going to deal with that. Obviously, that's not how. There's never, ever, and always. So you need to kind of back off on that a little bit, right? We don't need to keep pointing out, I call them Captain Obviouses, right? And it's like, if you post something empowering towards women, men have to jump on there and fucking defend. No, stop that male victim bullshit too. We're all a little sick of it. All right. Oh, whoa, poor men. Boo-hoo-hoo. Here's your sad little cup of fucking love here, because you just need to fucking hear this, and here's your sword of truth. What? Oh, women are so mean to y'all. Y'all have been assholes for fucking centuries. Thousands and thousands of years of fucking abuse, of burning times where you guys burned so many fucking females that it actually was detrimental to the fucking population. And then you're just gonna brush over and go, oh, women are mean now, I'm mad I don't have any power anymore. Yeah, no, we all know. We are all aware, right? Equality feels a lot like oppression to those who are benefiting from oppression. Do I need to say it again? Equality feels a lot like oppression to those who were benefiting from oppression. There's your big sword of truth. That's the sword you're going to need to cut these toxic bullshit fucking lines and stop toying with everybody. Nobody feels bad for you. You don't get to treat other people like shit because you ran into some toxic masculine females. You ran into those toxic masculine females to teach you what you have been doing for lifetimes and want you to stop. That is the universe showing you a fucking lesson, and y'all ain't fucking learning it yet, are you? time to move on. We've got 77 as well, so 44 and 77, right? What do I say about the 7 of Pentacles? It's 78. What do I say about the 7 of Pentacles? You reap what you sow. Point blank, period. You reap what you sow. If you plant seeds of bitterness and deceit, you will reap nothing but bitterness and deceit. If you plant seeds of love and prosperity, you have no choice but to reap in love and prosperity. It is a time to just move on and move into the new phases of your life. These people want to maintain living in these toxic games. Let them live in these toxic games. It's okay to be mad, and it is okay to be angry when people bulldoze through your healthy boundaries, ignore your requests, act like you're the crazy person because you want something real. No. You do not have to play that game. There's enough good people out there that if you've been planting them positive seeds of intention, that lesson will stop popping up the minute you learn it. If you keep running into these toxic people, you got to understand where you've been playing that toxic game too. If you find that it keeps not working out and it keeps imploding, it's because the universe is telling you that is not meant for you, baby. It's not yours. It's going to keep imploding. Y'all aren't on the same frequency. It's time to move on from these energies. I'm sorry about that yelling, man. That really, really came through awfully, awfully strong. Whee! All right. Should we get some clarifiers? Not bad for all the yelling. Let's get some clarifiers. We've got the Empress. We got the Page of Pentacles. I definitely feel like there is feminines. This is definitely for femmes, I'm sorry. But there is feminines that are out there that exude. It's not codependency and it's not people pleasing. They exude that natural, feminine, nurturing, loving energy. They can't help but radiate it, right? And they make these masculines feel young and silly, and they do want, like is down here, he's facing her, they do want to bring these energies to you. I think there is a bit of disturbance that they have, and I think it's a little bit of cognitive dissonance. It's like they get weirded out when people remind them of their mothers, especially if they had good moms, right? So if you're a masculine and you're raised by a nice, nurturing mother, or even if you had mother issues, right? Mothers are naturally nurturing, and we tend to kind of dote on our boys, right? So definitely getting a sense of mama's boys, and that idea that someone reminds them of their mother can be a big, scary. One, it's scary because it's like that's an intense connection, right? That's an intense level of love to even compare somebody to, right? And two, it feels a little creepy. Six of Swords, there's definitely a rite of passage that needs to be taken that's popped back up now again, right? And look, I'm even going to say this, right? Why do I get, just because some watery tart handed you a sword? I'm sorry. But you see this person's carrying the two swords as they carefully walk on those stepping stones. This is someone who has to carefully walk through a field of swords, right? Talk about reaping what you sow. What? Now there's all these swords around you. There are all these swords of truth, right? They may be underwater. They may be in the past. They may be just under the surface. This is someone who's done some shitty things in their past, and now they have to maneuver through all these swords that are true, but they're not you anymore, right? Ooh, reverse Seven of Swords. It is time to reveal the lies. Own where you have been lying and hiding and deceitful, right? I get this, right? These are all these swords that are under the surface, right? This person needs to come clean. This person needs to come clean with what they have done. They need to own who they were. They need to own who they were and apologize for it. And that's hard because a lot of men were raised to be narcissists. Like, you were programmed that way. Like, your mother probably helped program you into a narcissist, right? Men aren't supposed to show emotions. No emotions is the classic sign of the narcissist, right? You need to own who you were, and you need to apologize for what you have done. Whether you can apologize in person or whether you do some sort of ritual where you apologize for it, but you need to apologize and you need to accept that you have hurt people. And you need to accept that in hurting people, you created a chain of hurt people, because hurt people do what? They hurt people. Especially when shit's never resolved, right? There is victory coming. If you do this, there is victory, all right? So this person goes through their rite of passage. They acknowledge the past. What do they get afterwards, right? You get, oh, this is going to be fun, right? You're going to have to come out with that cup of love, right? You get that knight right there, right? Oh, what? Oh, the cup. It's so liquid rush trauma. It makes it weak. Oh, scary. All right. What are you scared of? You're scared of the reverse Queen of Swords, right? Why? Ooh, because part of you kind of deserves it, doesn't it? It kind of deserves that reverse Queen of Swords. That was that energy that was coming through on that line before, right? You're scared of her. You should be. It's right to be scared of her, right? She's not wrong. She's not the one lying and deceitful. But it's scary, right? Oh, I'm scared of love. Why? Because I'm scared this person's going to snap at me when I come at truthful with all this bullshit. Well, it's time to look at it from another perspective, right? It's time to take a moment when you are stuck and actually think about how you are going to move forward and listen to your guides and intuition, right? Pay attention to who's bleeding you of resources and who's helping you, right? You got this Queen of Pentacles again. She was on that 4D line. She's a major set of focus, right? This is someone who expects things to be a certain way. The Queen of Pentacles is not wishy-washy. She is not guided by emotions like the Queen of Cups. She is not guided by passion like the Queen of Fire. And she is not guided by thoughts, I don't want to say thoughts and words, but she's not impulsive with her thoughts and words like the Queen of Swords, right? When I see the Queen of Pentacles, I see the mom from Brave, right? She exudes an air of control. This is how it is supposed to be, and this is how I expect it to be. And I will respect my home and my space and how I feel it should be. She's kind of cut and dry like that, right? What? Oh, when the guys show up and they start fighting in the hallway, when she speaks, the men listen. Why? Because she's the one who actually runs the home and has the control, right? Seven of Rods. This is a point of defending one's healthy boundaries. This person does not ask for anything that is unhealthy. These are healthy boundaries, right? And I feel like this is we got a masculine here holding up with that big beard, right? Right? She needs a masculine. I even love it. He even looks like the dad from Brave, right? Who will still help maintain. When she speaks, the reason everybody listens is because he helps her maintain that boundary first. He agrees with her and it sets that boundary, right? The Nine of Cups. The ultimate wish fulfillment card. And this is the one deck that has two people in it celebrating, right? How do you get to the Nine of Cups? You need to shatter the illusion. Shatter the illusion. Shatter the illusion. Shatter the egos. Shatter those false selves. Take your rite of passage through your past. Own where that you have been lying. This is the only way you will get victory, right? You need to make some moves on the 3D. You need to recognize. All right. I love you. I think that is enough. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I love y'all more than you realize, and I will be back as soon as I can. I promise.